What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about two different Hogwarts Legacy things. Number one being that there is no Quidditch, so we're going to go over the news and then go over how I feel about it and how you guys feel about it. And then part two is Wizard's Chess, which was an interesting kind of find in the Slytherin Common Room Tour. And again, we'll talk about that one second. So let's start with the no Quidditch. I saw this, I tweeted it when it came out. I know I didn't make a video. This is a lot later, and so I'm sorry about that. But it is, to say confirmed, it is definitely tough because it's not confirmed, I guess, worldwide. And by that, I mean it's only on the UK site for Hogwarts Legacy, and I believe the Germany site as well. So I know it's UK is one, and then there's one other. It hasn't, as of the time I'm recording this on September 2nd, it hasn't been updated like everywhere. So it is possible, you go on the US version of the site, and in the FAQs, it's not there. But in the UK version, it specifically says, like, will you play Quidditch? And the answer is no. You do not play Quidditch in this game, but you can ride broomsticks, around and explore the area. In terms of how people feel about it, it's definitely interesting because I think I've just kind of reached this point where it's been so far along with all of the talks we've had about this game where it's like I've just kind of given up if there was ever a chance of Quidditch, and it's become where it's like not as big of a deal. Even when there was that rumor that there was no Quidditch in the game, I was like, oh man, that super sucks. And I think it is definitely a like a weakness. Like, I don't think it's going to help the game. I do think it would hurt the game, especially when you talk about just like a common fan, like somebody who's not into the vast details that we talk about on this channel or on Expecto Go or Retro Rec and Tour, like all these people, people outside of that, and there are millions of them, and I wish they would come in, but maybe they will over time. No, but you know what I mean? Those people that just hear, oh, it doesn't have Quidditch in it, like you flip a coin. They're either fine with it and they say, well, I didn't really expect it, or they're really disappointed and say, wow, that was one of the main aspects of the Wizarding World or of Harry Potter or whatever, right? That's one of the main aspects I really like, and so that's super sucks that there's no Quidditch. So I get it. If you are unfazed by it, totally fine. I'm honestly feel like I'm unfazed by it, where it's like, yeah, again, it's like, well, at this point they would have said it because we're 5 months away. Quidditch, if it was in the game as like a full-blown thing, it would have been detailed by now, because it's just such a gigantic thing to not talk about. And so, what does that lead you to? It leads you to that it probably wouldn't be in the game, and then they confirm it. And in terms of, again, like the game design stuff, I've talked about it before, but I know we always have a lot new people, as these videos go on. So I've said it before, but I'll say it again here. You have to think, too, when you create Quidditch, you're creating literally an entire sport with all of these mechanics and all these different things. That's hard. That's a lot of work. That's basically, you could argue, its own game. I keep saying it and I never check it because I guess maybe I'm too lazy or I just forget. But is it like 6v6, 7v7 on a Quidditch field, however many it is? You think about that. Think about like NHL, the NHL game franchise, right? You have to program those amount of people on both sides of the field. And, you have the different positions that you're going to be playing as. And then you could say, well, maybe you could just be the seeker. Well, everybody else has to be doing stuff, too. I just feel like it's a lot of work. And I've always said that. Now, that's not necessarily an excuse of why they didn't have it in the game. I'm just saying, I thought if they were going to have it in the game, it would simply be like a side quest. Like, you'd play like one match. Maybe you could replay it. You'd be locked to a position, and that's it. That would be the entire thing. It wouldn't be like a multiplayer mode. Well, obviously, we knew that because of no multiplayer, but it wouldn't be a multiplayer thing. It wouldn't be something that you can switch positions or switch teams or all this kind of stuff. Not like super detailed in terms of scoring points, like throwing the ball through the hoops. Like, you wouldn't have that kind of stuff. I thought that's kind of where I settled. I would honestly, at this point, just take a Quidditch World Cup game. And I really hope that because of already the success of this game, I know it hasn't, come out yet, but if the game does well and it sells really well, which I think it will, we need more Wizarding World games. And one of them, an online Quidditch World Cup game. Who wouldn't jump at an opportunity to make that? Because I think that would make a lot of money and make a lot of people very happy. So that's part one. Part two is Wizard's Chess. So guys, now I really believe I've been like the pioneer with Wizard's Chess on YouTube. I don't think it gets talked about at all in this game on YouTube, and I talked about it years ago, and I'm still doing it now. No, I honestly, I've always said I think Wizard's Chess is just a really easy thing that it's not even Gwent. Like, you think about mini games, these kind of small activities that you can do in an open world game. Gwent is way more sophisticated. Gwent became its own game. I guess Wizard's Chess could, because of just, you know, the lifelike nature. You could even like swap in like the first Harry Potter, right? You know, I mean, you could do that. But in reality, it's literally chess. And the pieces being more, again, like, I guess, animated, or they look different, right? That's the only difference between this and real chess. So, you know, you think about Gwent, that's even, like, if you use that as a comparison of, well, that's like a mini side thing. You can collect things. You don't even have to do that in Witcher. That's a huge thing. You think of Strikers, which is the pawn game in Horizon Forbidden West. I mean, you can go to Final Fantasy VII with the Yuffie DLC. That had a minigame that actually I thought was incredibly cool. I mean, all these games, you could even think, here's the best comparison I can come up with as of right now. It's just Red Dead Redemption. It's just like blackjack or poker, right? It's something that you can do, you can completely ignore. It's got animations, it's got people you'd play with, it's got a couple one-liners that you would say based off what happens. It's got mechanics. You play the game of blackjack, you play the game of chess. I really think it's super easy, and I honestly would kind of be disappointed because these are some of those small details that can make an open world kind of feel just like, not necessarily more lived in, but can just make it feel literally more detailed. And so to not have it, I don't know. I really don't feel like there's that much of an excuse to not have it in this game. Now, why did I say all that stuff? Well, in the Slytherin Common Room tour, remember they posted all 4 of them separately, there is a board with Wizard's Chess on it in the Common Room. Here's the issue, and I do maybe want to make one final video on these Common Rooms because there's one other thing I noticed I saw nobody else talk about, and so I'll mention it here. What you notice is when you interact with things. So the whole like globe thing that you can spin when you press square and he, you know, flicks the wand and the globe spins, that's obviously a prompt, right? And you could even see there's like a thing to the left of that is glowing white-ish, right? So you imagine like as you get closer to it, it would show the square button, or it would show something, a prompt to do something with it. The interesting thing is in these common rooms, nothing else did that. Now, they could have turned it off, right? Maybe they turned it off. Maybe they didn't want these buttons just popping up everywhere, you know, on the screen when they're trying to show you the room. But what's interesting is they walk very close to NPCs. They walk very close to Wizard's Chess. That chessboard, they walk right by it. It's on their right? So you get very close to those things, and there is no prompt. And that's my worry, is that, yes, you could argue they turn the prompt off for some of these things. That does happen, and that has happened. However, if they didn't turn the prompt off, then you can't play Wizard's Chess there. At least there. Maybe you can play it somewhere else, but you at least can't play it there. And it could just be something where it's like a decoration, detail, like an Easter egg, right? Like that's the angle they could take on it, where it's like, well, that's why it's there. You know, again, and then you think of the NPCs, it makes sense to not talk to everybody, right? It makes sense to not have every NPC be a character you can talk to. Think about literally any game, Assassin's Creed, Witcher, Red Dead. You can't talk to everybody that's walking around you, right? So that's, it is a worry. I'll talk about it more in a future video, but in terms of using that argument, that button prompt argument with Wizard's Chess is in the game. I mean, I'm calling it, or I'm confirming it here. You heard it here first. But can you play it? That is still to be decided, because you walk right by it. There is no prompt like there is for the globe. That doesn't mean you can't play it somewhere else. That doesn't mean that there is a button prompt that they hit. You know, they could have hidden a button prompt. Those things could have happened. But if it didn't happen, then at least you can't play it there. Maybe you can play it somewhere else, or maybe you can't. Maybe you can't play it at all. And again, we'll have to have a talk if that happens. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. If you want to follow or support me anywhere else, all my social media is in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.